Waiting for this to go live. It's taking forever. Okay.
Jeez,
Let me know when we're live.
which link?
Should be live.
Uh-oh.
I'm seeing your stream right now.
I'm seeing your stream of the stream.
We're live.
No, we're good. Yeah.
I'm on the YouTube page. We're live.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, welcome to the final episode of Game of Thrones. And yes, episode 6 is here. I see people are going ham in the chat right now. And it looks like a lot of heat and negativity is going on. We'll get to that in a second. But before we kick things off, let me introduce our usual co-host, starting off with Andrew Cam. How's it going, Andrew?
Pretty good. How's it going with you guys?
Good. Next up is Boored Buddha. What's up, Lou?
I'm chilling. How are you guys doing?
Good. And of course, Mr. Warren Bowman.
What's going on? Allergies is what's going on.
Oh, wow. And
pollen is what's going on.
Sam will be joining us in a second. He's still watching. He's trying to finish up. All right, let's get to the episode. Andrew, starting off with you. What did you
One
think?
star. Horrible. Rush. Everything was bad. No, I'm just reading all the comments from the chat room. I thought it was kind of whatever. You know, this is people are forgetting Game of Thrones. They do this every season. The episode before the last one is the one where everything happens, and then the last episode of that season, or in this case, a series, is just damage control, and we're just seeing what the fallout is from all the events from previous ones. So I thought it was okay. It was what I expected. I was really disappointed when I went and watched last week's episode again. So this one just kind of like, all right, I see what they were trying to do. Not saying I'm a fan of it, but it was the way they had to end it. Okay.
How about you, Warren?
It was what they said. It was going to be a, sort of a bittersweet ending. It would have been nice if they'd have just wrapped this entire last 2 episodes into just one. I think that would have been better off and maybe a little bit more well received.
Just made it a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, at a certain point, they might as well have made the last like 3 or 4 episodes essentially.
It would have been better received unless they had an extra season to it.
No, it would have helped out people that can't follow story. They can't follow series and don't know how to watch anything right. They're going to sit there and cry, make a change.org petition to change the ending of Game of Thrones and hope the writers tell you to screw off because...
Well, no. But did you realize that the writers of the show started their own petition telling people to fuck off?
Yeah, I don't blame them. Like you're mad. People are upset because the story didn't have this goody two-shoe happy ending.
It did. The only one who didn't get the ending is fucking Dany, and she became the villain.
Oh, she got an ending.
They painted that picture since season 1.
Okay. Here's the thing. Is she a villain? What people don't understand about Game of Thrones, it's told in the perspective of everyone else. So from one perspective to another one could be a villain and one may not be a villain. It just depends on the perspective of how you see it. That's how it's done, I believe, in the books. And that's how they've been doing it in the show.
Andrew?
So is there a bad guy? No.
Andrew,
I don't believe
your take, you were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying Dany got an ending. Like, she got probably the most fitting one of all because it was just...
Yeah, at least she didn't die by
it was
freaking rocks.
Yeah, everyone, like, this is just how it is. This is a story about things happening. There's no morality. There's no good guys. There's no bad guys. We started this show, and the Lannisters were the worst people on Earth, and then everyone suddenly became a fan of Tyrion. Everyone was cheering for Dany since season 1, and then at some point in the last couple of years, we realized Dany's kind of the bad guy here.
Oh, well, let me stop you right there for a second. They didn't realize that until, like, episode 5. They would sit there walking around. I bake everything with fire and blood, all amped up and happy, based on the reaction of her burning it down literally last week.
No,
people clearly weren't getting that.
There were a lot of people that were saying that Dany is kind of the bad guy.
There's a lot of people like me and you that were saying that.
Okay, guys, time out 1 second.
Let's
pause this for 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, understand one thing.
Go ahead, Lou.
Dan and Dave announced in 2016 that they were ending with 7 or 8 seasons with 6 episodes. So this whole Star Wars notion, you could go suck off. because they were announced to do Star Wars in 2018. So there's no conspiracy that they quit Game of Thrones early to go do a Star Wars movie, because that's not the theory. Learn to read the fucking internet properly and not fucking headlines.
All right. So
Buddha's leg dropping the leg.
I mean, seriously. You guys are complaining, oh, we got Dexter. No, Dexter gave us a fucking Category 5 hurricane, which you're not going to survive in that goddamn boat he was in. And then, oh yeah, he mysteriously shows up in Portland cutting down fucking trees. I think not.
The Buddha rant.
So don't give us that crap that, oh, they gave us a shit and that. Look, Lord of the Rings gave us 4 fucking endings. If you watch the extended version, you dumb nuts.
Okay.
Quit crying.
All right, Luke, calm down.
People mad at Endgame for time travel. People mad at Game of Thrones because
I mean, there's no pleasing people.
Everything down.
If you're not going to be pleased with how a show is done, look, like there's certain shows that say, create a story, get your story out there in Hollywood, and see if you can do better. If not, shut up, watch what you like, and don't complain no more.
All right, so what do you guys think about the fact that Brad basically planned a coup from the get-go? I mean, let's call it what it is. That's what Brad did. Brad knew. That's why
he can see the future, the past. He sees it all.
He planned the coup from the get-go that the Starks will rule everything. Pretty much. I mean, the sister is
what already happened. He's seen already what happened and said, what do I need to do to change what the actual future was going to be? And he found the spot and where to change it at. It was already looking like, well, this started off with a bunch of Starks dying, and it ended with a bunch of Starks running stuff. It's kind of the way that type of story sort of goes.
Lord of the Rings had finished books. We could blame George R.R. Martin, who had a chance to finish these books 15 years ago. But no, he wanted to sit on his ass and twiddle his thumbs. So now we're working with no book after the 5th one. They're going on ideas that he's given the showrunners.
And mind you, you all were complaining that wanted him to write episodes of the show while the show was going on. So what do you think he was going to do? What do you think that takes time from him finishing the books?
Let's look at a few comments here, because people are going in and out. HBO or somewhere else is going to reboot the series in 10 years. However, they might change the ending. That is
no, never gonna happen.
Not in a million years.
Did they reboot MASH? No. They ain't gonna reboot this. Did they reboot Sopranos? No. Say it ain't gonna happen.
It's getting a prequel movie.
Yeah, this show is too big for a reboot. Like, even if you wait 20 or 30 years, it's not gonna work. It's just they're just gonna focus on prequels. It's much easier, and then you get a new showrunner. You don't have. It's just too many things that to have to fall perfectly in line for this to ever be rebooted. It won't happen.
Plus the ending of the show.
If it gets rebooted, it'll have the final books to help it. So boom, okay, that would solve the problem.
No, it won't.
The only problem
it won't solve it because the ending is
the same ending.
The ending is exactly the same.
No, the ending's not exactly the same. The D&D
outline is going to be maybe a little bit different to how they get there, but it'll be Bran sitting on the damn new throne.
It's not the same. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, the D&D came out and said that they got the outline. And that they're no longer confirming anything of what it's going to be. And then George R.R. Martin said he hasn't written a single page of the last book. So the reaction he's had, there's going to be differences between the two.
I doubt and I disagree. And I think he's just saying that. He's saying that because he's creating that. He's creating a separation there. He knows his ending at this point.
Yeah. Plus
and he came out. You remember he came out last year and said there was an ending. He said there is. And they know, and then now, come on, you can't just change.
Yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't matter because we all know he's not finishing those damn books anyway. The man's it's been 8 freaking years and he hasn't done a single one. It's not happening.
Well, then stop telling him stop telling him to have to write episodes of all these other prequels and all the shows.
It's not going to matter. Even if because even if he did it, he's gonna write another friggin' novella. He's gonna write another history of Westeros. Everything he's not writing these books because he doesn't want to.
Well, he's also isn't the books rumored to be like 1,500 pages or something like that in the last two? He's writing like manuscript level stuff for the end of this.
Something like that. Let's look at another comment here from.
It's going to take a while in DOS to type that.
Okay, another comment here from Doc Mark G says, "Man, could have been worse if we didn't rush it. Could have taken 3 more seasons. We would have been done. It would have been done. Would have been done much better. The rush feeling throughout the whole thing. Hard to enjoy it fully.
There is no rush.
So he wanted 3 more seasons."
There's no rush.
We want 3 more seasons of.
This is an 8.
Where do they build ships from? Oh, how did they get here? Oh! Maybe we would have added Lady Stoneheart.
You know what they want? You gotta get this. They want Dragon Ball Z, not the Kai version. They want all that other stuff, all the filler episodes, and all the other things that add to this. So this goes way further along the line than it does that. You don't want that.
No.
Trust me.
This didn't need 3 extra seasons. It needed 3 extra episodes. They thought that they could get away with it by adding like 20, 30 minutes certain episodes.
I don't know.
But really, this was just there was too many things happening at once, and they spent too much time on certain things. If they would have just had the space to do three episodes, they would have edited it better, and the story would have flowed more naturally. It felt like there were a couple of moments this season where they just jumped into it, and then they just hung around for a little bit, and then jumped back in again. Yeah. It would have been better with just 3 extra episodes and then just be done with the show.
Luke and Tech, refresh because the audio is working just fine for me. I checked.
I think
it could be on your end.
Okay.
I think it just needed either 1 extra episode or maybe 2. I don't think 3, but just enough of a break between the long night where we see time pass in some shape or form and what they do between that, preparing for that next war. So when they go into that, if they added an episode or 2 of filler to put into that, because that's essentially what they would have been, then I think people wouldn't feel that it was as rushed.
Yeah, they want all those filler, boring episodes that we get on network TV.
You know, that's essentially is what they want. They want filler, but I'm like, people like it's rushed. Like, this thing is 8 seasons. It is shocking it even got to that. You guys need to learn TV. Most stuff doesn't get past like 3 or 4. If you're getting past 4, you've got your show's doing damn well. If you get
next week's episode is more of a documentary of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
probably like an hour and a half of that, if you're willing to watch.
John C says, "I was happy he petted Ghost. That was a win for me." So all the people who were complaining about Ghost getting shafted.
Oh Lord, people and their animals that aren't real. Oh Lord.
Go ahead on your rant.
I'm sorry. They need to be more consistent because the last time we saw Ghost, he seemed small. This week, he seemed big. Like, get Ghost's size right.
I don't know. It's just... Well, it seems like they could also continue things going forward, maybe even not even years down the road, because with Arya going west of Westeros, that there could be some things there that could be added to that.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of things you can add to that. Plus the fact that you have Bran now basically looking for his dragon to control, to walk into, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so there's things you can do there forward. But Sam, thanks for joining.
Hello.
You missed the epic rant.
Yeah, you missed
yeah.
Luke going on. But all right, since you're joining us now, thoughts on the episode? What are your thoughts?
I liked it. I liked the episode. If there was a way it could end without screwing over a bunch of characters and not closing some plot holes, this was the only way. This is the only way it could end. There were a lot of plot holes that weren't closed off, but I think Bran being named King, it makes sense. You know, it kind of does make sense. Gives an answer to his arrogant ass smiles over all the other times. Like, I'm gonna be king. Y'all can fight for the kingdom, but I'm gonna be king.
You fight for my kingdom. Get it all ready for me, because I'm coming.
I gotta say though, like the ending was pretty stupid. Like they say we can save war,
No, Izzy.
By having Jon go to the wall to protect them from what? He's
No,
still going beyond.
No.
But listen, he's still going beyond the wall to go with the wildlings. The North is no longer part of the kingdom, so sending people to the walls is no big deal because whatever. It's a different set of rules up there now. What's the point of that? And then Grey Worm is still going to kill him. That's my point. Grey Worm.
Sully know that? No.
Grey Worm is still going to want to kill. Now he doesn't. He wanted to kill Jon and Tyrion. Now he doesn't get to kill either one of them, and one of them gets to be free. That makes no sense. And the other one's doing what he was his old. He basically went back to his old job.
It makes perfect sense. What is Game of Thrones built around? What historical event is it built around? It is built around the War of the Roses. And what happened after the War of the Roses? Basically, the preeminent nobles in England came together and chose a freaking king. It's exactly what this is. And it makes freaking sense.
No, the choosing the king part is fine. I'm talking about the compromise. That whole thing was nonsensical to me.
No, the compromise is perfect. Jon can't be left in Westeros. There's no way he can.
He's still in Westeros.
No, he isn't. He went north. The north is not Westeros.
But that's my point is Grey Worm wants justice.
In other words, Grey Worm got played on some diplomacy
farmer.
Because he don't know where
that
farmer. Now he sails to north because he has no. He didn't understand he was getting played. That's his fault. He takes the L. He takes the L.
That is just lazy. I don't believe that for a second.
I don't find it lazy. Look, Jon never wanted to be king. He didn't want to be the king of the North. So you know what? He gets to go be the king of the free folk. Because they're going to look to him as the commander, not Tormund. Tormund's going to be his second in command.
Jon would have been killed instantly.
If
Grey Worm came in the freaking throne room and saw Jon over and Dany's gone, and Jon's like, yeah, killed her. Grey Worm would have killed him instantly. He wouldn't hold him prisoner.
I would have liked to see that.
Well, actually, if he would have killed him instantly, now you start an entire war where you're outnumbered on the land.
Do you think Grey Worm cares about starting a war right now?
Clearly he did when he was trying to get that justice and realizing killing Jon Snow wasn't going to work out.
Yeah, but remember, Andrew, he didn't actually see that. Basically, Jon told him what he did, right? And also, Drogon took the body, which is why he didn't do anything.
Listen. We saw the past few episodes. Grey Worm is bloodthirsty. He don't care about nobody. Grey Worm want to kill any and everybody. He don't even like Jon. You saw the looks he was giving him. Plus, he touched him. You guys know the rule. If you touch a man, one of you gotta get messed up.
Where?
When they were executing the Lannisters, he grabbed them.
I mean, where'd that rule come from? Your rule.
Living in the world. If you got an argument with a dude and a dude puts a hand on you, one of us has to throw a punch.
No.
It's just a rule.
Not necessarily.
God, Andrew, man, where's this violence coming from? Seriously.
You guys have been on these Westerosi streets. That's the problem. You don't really know what it's like out there.
All right, so Sam, I asked the questions like, what did you think of Bran basically planning the coup from the get-go?
Bran planning a coup?
Because he knew he was going to be king from the very beginning.
Oh, that's messed up. Nah, that's messed up. Well, the way it happened, it had to happen. Jon had so basically, I don't think the Three-Eyed Raven is like, oh, this is how the future is going to happen. It's like you have choices and you get to choose. Jon could have chosen to take the throne, and I think Jon would have been. I think we all know it. He would have been a shitty king. You know, he could have chosen. Yeah, he would have. Yeah, he would have.
Yeah,
I feel real sorry for the North, for the people beyond the wall, man. I feel real sorry for them. They get
no
options
because he's not king there. It's just that whenever they have to fight and do something, that's where he's uswell.
Oh, he's shitty. He's a shitty leader. End of story.
The
people in the North are probably going to kill him a second time. Watch. But
actually, that was a whole bunch of those assholes that were at the wall that killed them. How'd that work out for them?
They did.
But yes, you were saying, Sam.
No, but at the end of the day, I think it worked out perfectly for Bran. I think nothing really foreshadowed him being king. And I thought the Three-Eyed Raven was just going to basically go beyond the walls and become the Three-Eyed Raven and just basically stay underneath a tree. But it was unexpected. I was actually thinking Sansa would be queen. I was when it got to the point where where Tyrion was like, "Hey, we should vote for someone." I almost wanted Sansa to be queen because
I mean, she was playing for it, right? She told her uncles to sit down. Like,
She didn't
he was a cornball.
no, she was. I mean, look. If Tyrion hadn't brought up Bran, I think she would have put herself there or somehow gotten herself to that position. Because you could tell, I mean, which is why, I mean, yes, one, she didn't want the North to kneel, but she was not going to. That was basically her second best choice. Is either she became queen or she controls the North, or she just becomes queen in general. Because you could see her face at the end when she took the crown of the North. She was queen. This is what she's been dreaming about her whole life.
Yeah, this is literally from episode 1. I just watched that again yesterday. She just her whole life she just wanted to be a queen. So like now it's like after the bullshit she's been through, she realized it's not really worth it. But she fulfilled the dream in a different way. Yeah. So she's not the queen in terms of the 7 kingdoms or 6 kingdoms now. No, but she's still a queen, and she's going to be written in history as the one who reestablished the North is free.
Free, yeah.
You mean Ireland? You think about it. Well, that's exactly what that is.
You know, Yara pissed me off.
It kind of is.
It'd be more Scotland.
Why did Yara piss you off?
Because she talks all that shit. Oh, I came to fight for my queen and do this for my queen. Homegirl, where was you at the last 5 episodes? You got rescued and you disappeared.
Hold on. I got to answer something to Luke M. Tech. The creators did not ruin Game of Thrones. Stop saying they ruined the show.
The fans ruined that show. Because if you look in the media, the fans ruined the show. I'm sorry.
The fans getting pissy because it isn't ending or the story isn't going the way you interpreted it to go.
It's not Disney. I'm sorry. It's
a show based on perspectives. Yeah. That's the way it works. So it shows people that are not necessarily good, not necessarily bad. It just depends on what your perspective is.
And it's indicative of exactly the way real life works, right?
Yeah.
No, if you're gonna go out there and say I'm too good to put my name in to rule, you get shafted and sent over to the North. That's exactly what happens. The people who get to rule are the people who say I deserve to rule. End of story. You can't half-ass leadership. That's not how it works. You just can't half-ass it. You can't go, oh, no. They're going to convince me to rule. No, they're not going to convince you. You better stand up and say, hey, I think I can do better. I'm going to be king. And
a great thing is that the Starks, especially Ned and Jon, show when you're honoring noble what the consequences that can be when there are points when that's right for it to happen, and there are points where you can still do the right thing, and the other way can still go. It can still go wrong and still go bad for you, because that's how it actually happens in the real world. The show got too real or too close to being how realistic the world works, and people got pissy because it took them out of the little fantasy land of dragons and chick riding dragons and setting everyone on fire and freeing slaves.
All right, here's one from John C. says, Daenerys' death was too fast, though. She could have said something to Jon before she got stabbed.
She did.
You have stabbed me, my nephew, husband, and now I shall die.
I knew this was just going to anger you guys.
Have you? No, but I'm like, what did you think the 3-minute speech that she gave him right before that was? He was like just listening and said, okay, I'm going to kill you now. If he would have said, I'm going to kill you, would you like to have any final words? Her final words would have been Jacaerys, and Jon would have been a freaking toast right now.
No, Jon wouldn't have died. And that's the point.
Here's the funny thing, though.
Wait, why did you say that, Sam? Wait.
Iron and throw.
Hold on a second.
He never sat on it. But she broke. So the wheel was broken.
Wait a second. Sam, go ahead.
It hasn't officially been established that, no Targaryen can get burnt by fire. But I think Jon, being who he is special enough, and also as a Targaryen, he is not going to get burnt.
Just because you're Targaryen doesn't mean you can't die by fire.
Exactly, that's what I said. It hasn't been established that no Targaryen would die by fire. It's perfectly fine. We know that, right? But Jon is special.
He's not. None of them.
Yes, he is. The dude was killed and came back to freaking life. He is chosen by the Lord of Lights.
Yeah,
he is chosen of the Lord of Light.
He was chosen by the Lord of Light to kill Dany, not to survive fire.
There you go.
I don't know.
I agree with that.
No, we don't know that. We don't know that
was
fact.
His destiny.
We don't know
That
that.
was his destiny.
No, I don't think that was his
as a
destiny because
whole.
he was given a choice. I think he had a choice, and the path he chose led to this. If he had chosen to basically be king, I think he and Danny would have probably ended up together. She would probably have hated him. She would probably have tried to fight him, but I think they probably would have ended up together because he had a legitimate claim. Right, the wars would have still dragged on, but I think he would have actually made a choice. But he chose a choice that he thought was good. He wanted to do the good thing because I am Jon Snow. I am emo Jesus.
It's that Ned Stark Honor stuff, and that's exactly what went down.
Emo Jesus can't win, man.
And guess what? He fulfilled the prophecy. That Lord of Light prophecy came all the way true.
Full circle.
It came full circle. Danny's vision actually came completely circle.
Yes.
She was in the throne room with her axe. She touches the throne. She gets axed for it.
All right, here's another one.
I mean, let's be real. You guys are saying, look, Ned Stark's honor got him killed in the season 1 finale or the penultimate episode. Jon Snow's honor got him to go live in the north.
Yeah,
the far, far north.
He got off easy.
Continue, guys. Continue. 1 second.
The fact of the matter is, this show has over and over and over and over again pointed some very interesting things out. You look at the leaders who try to lead on some form of consensus or lead with their hearts. All the leaders who try to lead with their hearts, even the bad ones, like what's his name, like Rob Baratheon, dead.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ned Stark, dead. Rob Stark, dead. What's it called? Jon Snow in the north. You don't like. I'm sorry, but that's just not how leadership works. You don't lead with your heart. And George, if you read the books, George R. Martin really screws these people over. That's just the way it is. I was never, when people said, "Oh, who's going to end up on the Iron Throne?" I never expected Jon to end up on the Iron Throne because that's just not how George R. Martin works.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
All right, here's one for you guys here that you might like. Darren says the dragon should have killed Jon. That's what I feel was messed up. Like, this is Game of Thrones. Come on.
You see, that's the thing, man. I don't think the dragons should have killed Jon. I think it was the fact that the dragons took Jon earlier, like easily, like he could ride them.
Yeah.
The fact that when Jon was coming into the red, whatever the remnants of the Red Keep was, the fact that he sniffed Jon and let him pass. Targaryens spent generations training dragons, finally getting dragons to basically. It is. Let's just put it this way. Let's
they had to use some magic to kind of get that to work too.
Let's just even go scientific. Dragons are genetically coded to be loyal to Targaryens. End of story.
Yeah.
The reason, look, you know how the theory goes. You could be killed, but your brainwaves still work for like another 10 to 15 minutes. Let's just say hypothetically, Dany's brainwaves were still working, and she wanted the throne burned down more than anything else. Just look at it like that. Boom.
All right. True. I mean, it could be like that, but I think I think what we just have here is the fact that, I think to your point, Andrew, you're right. Even though, yes, Warren, one episode was probably enough as a filler, but 3 episodes would have done everybody justice in that filler realm. Especially, and I think the most important one would be the space between the Long Night battle and moving over to King's Landing. That's definitely the most important one because that's the one that at least, because this call this way, and I think this goes back to the last 2 seasons because of the time jumps. People are like, oh, they're already here and they're already there, and people, for whatever reason, don't understand, even though they've been told that they're time jumps, is that they're just not getting the time jumps in.
In defense of people, you got to remember, we spent like 2.5 seasons on stuff that could have been like 4 episodes. We waited like 6 friggin' years for Dany to go to Westeros. We waited all that time of them just like, I'm leaving in episode 2, and then they would reach King's Landing in like episode 7. So the show, when there was that time when the books weren't coming out, the show was purposely moving very slowly. And then all of a sudden it was like a switch turned, and then we were just moving from place to place. They just said, look, this show's ending in 2 seasons. We got to just get shit going. Screw the Ravens. We're gonna be in Siberia in one scene. Then we're gonna be on the south of France in the next scene. They just went just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking through the chat here and people complaining, and it's just I'm going to keep saying the same thing. Learn how to watch a series.
Dude, no, I don't think we even need to get that deep.
No, I think we need to get that deep because this turns into every single time when a series of any popularity gets to a certain height and it doesn't end in the pretty way that they want it to, they get pissy like this.
No.
There are some valid complaints about this season.
On that one.
There are some very valid complaints.
There's some complaints there, but I'm sorry. The way people are complaining now is absolutely garbage.
Hold on a second. Okay.
I totally disagree with you because there is a legitimate argument of the fact that
but not
no, dude, Warren, they rushed it. No.
We'll just agree to disagree on that. Let's keep moving forward.
I
don't want. It's not going to change my mind.
Okay, I was the person who came on. The first thing I said is like the fans screwed it up. I would say that, but I am not going to deny the fact that they rushed season 8. I can't. No one can deny that fact. They rushed it. It's rushed. Okay. Now
I disagree, but we'll just go.
You can disagree. I'm cool.
You can say that it's a fact, but it's actually more of an opinion than a fact. It's not a fact.
I am cool with you disagreeing. I am cool with you disagreeing. But the fact of the matter still remains that in 8 episodes, we saw people traveling. We saw people traveling between the North and Westeros more times and faster than we've seen in any other season. So it's still a fact. You might not like it, but it's still a fact.
Okay. All right. So it was.
I disagree with it.
Either way, all right. So let's do this now. Since we can chime to death about the season episode, let's sum up Game of Thrones as a whole. 8 seasons, right? And from where you started, right? Your thought process from where you started. People like Sam and Andrew who are book readers, myself, Warren and Lou who are not. I know Lou is a spoiler guy, so Lou went and did his 3 Eye Raven stuff.
I read the spoiler, and honestly, it played out exactly the way the episode did.
Lou, yeah, I know. I'm not talking about the episode, but I'm saying as a whole, looking at the show from beginning to end, right? Where you started, try and think back where you started with episode 1 and where you are now and how this comes up, especially the times where things change. Things have changed in this show so much that you go a different way. I mean, I'll give you an example. I think there was a season where I just said, being a Stark is a curse. Like, do not ever want to be a Stark, right? But look at where they are now, right? So I'm just saying, put in that perspective and then give me your thoughts on it. I'll start with 3 Eye Raven, Lou, since you've seen the future and the past. Sum it up the show.
You're never going to be satisfied with a show, the way a show ends. People will find a way to complain. But this show gave us something that most shows don't. It started great, ended somewhat okay if you're thinking of it as a book perspective. That's how you have to look at it. Because, look, guys, yes, Lord of the Rings is the best example. There was 3 books finished for that. His final book, Doom and Gloom, the ending, peaches and creams, with the exception of all the other main characters sailing off into the sunset.
Yep.
Because they weren't going to live on Middle Earth no more. What more do you want? Do you really want the show to be on a death note? Oh, Dany's the tyrant. She goes and she kills every other land because that's how she saw how to rule. Oh, you don't want to bend the knee? I'm just going to burn you and have my dragon eat your ashes.
Dude, what Tyrion said about Dany was spot on, man. You see, this is the thing I like about. I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. But this is the thing I liked about what Tyrion said, right? And this is the thing that gets people, even in real life. When she freed the slaves and she killed the slavers, the slavers were bad men. When she went somewhere else and she freed other people and killed the other guys, those guys were bad men. When she came to Westeros and she helped the people in the north, the Night King was a bad guy. But then she went in and she basically just exemplified the fact, it's like, hey, my view is the way the world should work. If I think you're a bad guy, you're a bad guy. And no one else gets a say in my world to tell me that you're not a bad guy. perfect.
So
That is exactly what Tyrion is.
No, the funny
no
thing
one else gets an opinion.
No, the funny thing you said that is that Dany basically finally confirmed that to Jon Snow when he asked her, what if those people think they are good also? And she said they
don't get a choice. They don't get a
choice. And I think that was the moment he decided, I have to do this. Like that was, but the thing is that I think what's going to happen before I get back is that a lot of people will not listen to those words, especially in this episode, and see where that is coming from and how that has come from. And again, he basically narrated everything that people were defending last week's episode, was saying that fire and blood. He even said it out himself. Our queen takes with fire and blood, right? So I think those things will come off. Now, before we continue, I know Andrew, you want to go up next. Is guys in the chat, just give me your thoughts on what you've thought about the show from season 1 to season 8. Just put it down. I know some of you are putting that already now, but Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, 2 quick thoughts. Regarding when he said they don't get a choice, I thought it was kind of cool that's what's like. You saw like in John's eye, like something went off when he said that, and then you remember that just like 2 scenes earlier, he told Tyrion that Sansa doesn't get to choose. And then now he's hearing it from Dany. He's really like, oh shit, and like it's like when you find out like someone you don't like has the same opinion as you, you're like, wait, am I the wrong one here?
Yeah,
and it's kind of cool to me. But like, I didn't start reading the books until like episode 4 of season 1.
Okay.
Like I read the like two and a half books by the time the season 1 finished, because I thought the books were just that well written, and I'd never seen a story where the good guy, quote unquote, ends up being killed. And that's what hooked me on this show, on the books, on this whole world that Martin created. Is basically, it's not a classic moral story about the good guy's going to come and save the day, even though the quote unquote good guys did end up winning. It was just, this is what's happening, and you get to see the perspectives of what led to everyone's decisions. I think this season the perspective weren't as entertaining and clear as they were in the past, and I think that was less of an issue of writing and more of editing. Like everyone keeps saying, like, this is bad script writers, these guys are terrible, this is terrible. I think if they would have edited certain things better and just allowed things to ease in a little more, it would have felt better. But at the end of the day, this is a great series. They were on fire for about 6 seasons. They did really well for one season, and one season that was kind of up and down, but it had some great moments in it. I'm always going to be positive on the overall aspect of this series.
Okay.
Look at it like this. What do dictators say? People don't have a choice. They have to follow my rule.
Yep.
And Dany said that clear as day when Jon posed the question to her. So she is a dictator. No matter how you spin it, she became a dictator. Everything had to go her way.
She became a tyrant. She literally said that innocence was used against me as a weapon. So basically, I took that weapon away. I took innocence away.
Yeah.
Come on.
See,
that's just pure tyranny right there.
No, Lou, hold on a second. Warren, go ahead. Your season review. Your series review.
Overall, from the beginning to now, it was I've enjoyed the entire story, like going throughout, because it has such a real perspective on how people would really interact with each other. Like Andrew said, it's not like this classic everything's in a moral sort of way things work. It challenged people's morals. It didn't always let the good guy win. It gave you different perspectives of view different things. It leaves things to different interpretations. I think they did a great job of that. I think as the show got popular, they had to tame down a lot of things because there was just a lot more people watching than what they did probably in the first about 2 or 3 seasons or so. So that was a little disappointing with that. But overall, I enjoyed just how the world worked, how everyone had all the different perspectives of things, and how you can question certain things. We say Dany became tyrant or she came into tyranny. We don't know which was she ever not that. Exactly. We go to Essos, and it's a perfect example. We only see one perspective, and that is essentially from the perspective of Dany and what's going on. We never know from the slaver's perspective. We never know from the innocent's perspective that happened around there. And a ton of innocents got killed. A ton of people got burned around. We just assume from Danny's perspective, it was just the bad guys doing those things. What they did and what they geniusly did is flipped it on you in episode 5, where you saw the perspective from the people and the innocents within King's Landing. You didn't see Danny at all in that. And I love that they did it that way. You saw a dragon, you saw fire, but you saw her for that one part of that episode, and that's her looking at Cersei and at the Red Keep. You didn't see it for the rest of the time. The whole rest of that was in that perspective.
That's right.
And I thought it was a great way that they did that. I love how they do that, especially in the wars and the battles, like in the Battle of the Bastards, when they put you in a perspective of what's going on during that time. So
I would agree.
I thought it was cool. And, and it shows that people aren't inherently good, aren't inherently evil. There's all these different shades and complications, sort of things that go on that make people do what they do.
Ramsay Bolton.
Bolton. I was about to say that.
They're just a fucking asshole.
The Boltons and their flaying, they wrote, like, he had to give us one solid, like, these people bum everyone out. They're the assholes. No one likes them. Like, they had to pick one, and that was Bolton. But everyone else, from the Lannisters to the Tyrells to the Starks all around, there's all them respects of that can go around.
Quickly, Andrew, before we just need to continue what we were about to say.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. Did Varys's ravens not make it to anybody? Because everyone was acting like Jon wasn't, like they didn't know Jon's true parentage. Everyone was just like moving around, still calling him Snow and everything.
I don't think it made it.
I don't think it made it out.
I don't think so.
Even if it made it out,
even if it made it,
the question is simply this, right? Are you willing to back someone who isn't willing to stand and fight?
No, yeah, that part I get, but they were like saying the way that they're framing it, like, like the North were the only people who cared. Like, we don't have a king. We don't have a king. What do we do? It's like, well, you guys know the truth of who his father is, so technically he would be the king. Yeah. But like half the people there turned on his father anyway. So it's like I didn't get what the issue was.
I'll put it this way: we all want a king. We all want a king, except for the fact that the last Targaryen, like the last Targaryen king, was gonna burn the whole freaking place.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The Targaryen queen, who was there for a hot minute, burnt all of King's Landing down. Do we really want another Targaryen being king?
But see, that's the difference with Jon. He's not the true Targaryen like everyone else.
Doesn't matter, man.
He had that Stark blood in him that kept him grounded.
Don't forget about what got what's his name, Ned Stark into trouble. The blood breeds true. In Westeros, the blood breeds true.
That's very true.
That's exactly what got him into trouble. That's how he realized that freaking Robert's kids weren't Robert's kids, because every single house in Westeros has a trait that just goes across. And even though Jon didn't have the silver hair or the purple eye, he's still a Targaryen. In all of their minds, the blood breeds freaking true.
All right, so Sam, how about you? What's your summary for the show?
Dude, I don't think I have invested this much time into any other show that was better. And that's a fact. Whether you think the 8th season was the worst season ever out of every single season that was out there, I would say I would put the 8th season up against some of the best seasons of any other show out there. It was not the best writing in that show, but it was the pinnacle of HBO. Yeah. HBO has given us some amazing shows. It's given us Rome. It's given us Carnival.
I couldn't get into
given us so many other shows out there. This still stands at the pinnacle of what HBO has given us. I think everyone can criticize it, everyone can hate it, everyone can do whatever to season 8. But when we look at TV years from now, and we're all talking about like shows you should watch from the 2000 teens, when they have that show on VH1, Game of Thrones is going to be listed. Simple.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those shows that say, "Hey, you got to go back and watch." Like years from now, when you're talking to your kids about like, "Oh, what shows did you like watching?" and you know how people talk about some space show when they were kids, we're going to go, "Hey, there was this show called Game of Thrones. you all should give it a little, a little watch and like understand what TV was back in our days. This is going to stand the test of time. And
Sam, are you going to tell your kids to watch Game of Thrones? How old are your
Hell
kids
yeah.
in this scenario?
When
How old are they in this
when they're
scenario?
16, 17.
Oh, okay.
18 and above. 18 and above.
Okay, all right. Well, I will say for me, and Warren will laugh about this, is this show gave me what I like in shows. I like endings that are that people don't like. You know, when Danny started burning stuff, that was like my cue, be like, yes, this is.
You started cheering.
Because no, and this show, and Sam, you would recognize this. This show reminded me of just the end, just even the way it ended. Even though it's not the same, it reminded me of the Commonwealth saga, how it ended with. You think about Ozzy and what's the other guy, Nigel Sheldon, right? Those guys aren't good guys. They had good intentions, but and again, this is a book series that I wish it could make into a show, but man, that would be such a massive show.
If people reacted like this to Game of Thrones,
they would react to
the Commonwealth saga would blow their minds.
Yeah, completely. But that's the thing, is that for me, this is a show that from the very first season, the way it carried on. I remember the Red Wedding with Sam because I was watching it, and I
was cracking up.
I'm texting Sam. I'm going, "What's happening?" He's like, "Keep watching." I go, "Is it?" He's like, "Yes." No, he's like, "Keep watching." Oh my God! Now you see. That's literally how our text conversation went. But the show had given me different moments and also different character builds where I stopped caring for any character like fully as like, okay, this is a character, because with TV shows you go, this is a character, this is my character, this is a guy I'm going to, or, person I'm going to follow through. And it taught you not to look at it that way. And if you really look at it from what the book is based off, that's what the show is. It's a very, like I said, like Warren said, perspectives. So, and when it comes to the seasons, yes, I would join Sam and say season 8, more episodes would have benefited more people. For me, it was fine. But I think overall, as a collective, this is a show that really hits a lot of points that almost no show, and no dramatic show, let me put it that way, has hit so far. I don't think there's any. I mean, maybe The Wire, even though I haven't seen it, but I know other people have talked about The Wire that way. Maybe that's the one show I would say that, yes, hits that point. But this provided drama, fantasy. Do you know the one thing I really loved about Game of Thrones? As much as I wanted to see magic in this show, they didn't fulfill that fantasy, or else it would have wrecked the show. I'm just saying, at some point, people
made it practical. Whatever was magically driven had a practicality and had rules and sort of a pathway.
Because if you hear all the opinions and thoughts of people about theories, they threw in so many magical elements that never were in the show, or were in the show but never actually was shown in that form. They said this person could do this or would do that or something like that.
But you did catch the basically the MacGuffin that was thrown in there.
Which one?
To basically give George R. Martin a pass on whatever he does with the book. So
when Sam came in,
exactly, he's like, he didn't say anything about you, Tyrion. So basically, he just came in with the victor's right history. So if Tyrion goes in and badgers that that maester, include him in it, he can get favorable billing in that book. But at the end of the day, the books, it's almost as though they kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The way the book ends is going to be significant. I wouldn't say significant. Maybe I shouldn't say significantly, but substantially different than the way the show ended. So if you're reading the book, I would definitely say go ahead and read the book. I don't think the show is a spoiler for the way the book ends.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. What was your favorite season before we wrap up? Just any thoughts? I know it's a lot of seasons, but which were your favorite? Season 1 for you, Sam? Andrew?
Season 3, I think. Which one was maybe season 4? Whichever one had the Red Wedding in it.
That was season 2.
No, that was 3.
Oh, that's season 3.
Yeah, season 3. Yeah.
Warren?
I don't have one in particular. I like it. All the seasons I liked. I can't say I liked one better than the other. I think each season had their ups and down episodes, but I still, even with the episode that might be down, but I enjoyed it kind of overall. So I can't pick one specifically. I think they're all good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're all good. I would say season 3 for me. That Red Wedding season actually galvanized me to keep watching more. And like I said, I like when shows do stuff like that because for me that really hits the nail. But definitely solid. I guess that's it, guys. That's pretty much it for Game of Thrones. I know you guys are chiming in the chat. There's a lot of conversation going on. And for you, just a point, Lou, this is not as bad as The Walking Dead.
Oh, God, it wasn't.
So
Season 6 ending of Walking Dead, the biggest hodgepodge of shit.
Yeah, okay, calm down, Lou. Calm down, because let me just give you guys a quick description.
The Walking Dead is over?
No, it's still on.
No.
This was season 6.
So, Lou, I was asked this question today, like during brunch. Like, you don't like The Walking Dead. Why do you keep watching it? And I was like,
I don't.
I was like, have you ever hate watched anything?
Look, Sam, I can top you. I watch True Blood until the end.
Oh, man,
I hated that show so much. I was
True
like,
Blood
I just
was my
gotta watch it.
introduction into hate watching, man.
Look, Warren, not Warren, Sam, I read all the comics to a certain point of The Walking Dead. When they gave me that stupid cliffhanger ending, because they didn't know who they really wanted to kill, they screwed up. I came back for season 7 just to watch them kill Abraham and Glenn. And I was still pissed off because that was the stupidest season premiere.
Dude,
After that, I never went back.
Have you watched Fear the Walking Dead?
No.
Okay, good. Because I think
you would have first season and I stopped.
Yeah, you would just lose your mind or something.
Let me put it this way for you guys. Once the episode finished and Lou and I did the live chat, so you know how the chat speeds up and rolls. We had about close to 2,000 people in the chat, and it was literally FU concurrently just rolling through.
The chat went so fast that we couldn't keep up.
You couldn't actually. You could read the FUs just by like flowing text because it was going that fast. But it's not as bad in this one.
Since you are the captain of the ship, E, they're asking, are we coming back next year for the prequel?
I mean, we might do that. We'll see how it turns out. That's a year from now, so we've got time for us to think about it. But we will come back.
Well, we do have Westworld, folks.
Yeah, Westworld is still there. So
are we going to give them the lovely Watchmen commentary? That's looking interesting.
Yeah. Watchmen is one that's like going to be kind of weird, man.
I think I might binge that one. I'm gonna give them like 4 episodes to let the story build up a little bit and then watch them all at once.
Oh, I'm doing the whole season. I'm doing the whole season for Watchmen.
I'm doing the whole season for Watchmen, but I mean, who knows? We might do a review of a couple of episodes at a time, something like that.
Well, this is Watchmen. This is happening after the movie, right?
Yeah.
Way after, because
I'm not like the
Ozymandias is older now.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say I hated that movie. I didn't hate Watchmen the movie, but it did pull me much more into caring about it.
Have you read the comics?
No.
Read the comics, then watch the movie, and then I think you realize why.
I've seen them. I've seen the movie too.
I think read the comics, then watch the movie, and then watch the movie again, and then you see why a lot of people think.
Yeah, but watch the
movie ever made was the Watchmen.
Watch the like super director's cut version of the movie.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I mean, it's one of those where you have to look at it from a like a pseudo political like viewpoint of superheroes, because that's really what Watchmen's all about. Yeah.
I like Marcel Clappett's man. He's like, maybe Arya sails over the edge of the flat Earth.
Oh, she's coming to America.
Yeah, she shows up like, oh shit.
They're going to Americanos.
Yes,
Americanos. Yes.
All right, guys. We'll see when the shows come up. Just leave your thoughts on what shows you'd like us to cover next, whether it's Watchmen, Actually, I'll put a poll on YouTube for you guys as well. But Watchmen, Westworld, which other show did we mention? I
Well,
think,
Westworld is a given because we've already done the first 2 seasons.
yeah, I know, but I'm thinking of like a different format for it because Westworld is actually, yeah, Westworld is one show that requires a lot of paying attention as well. So.
No, well, for me though, the way I'm looking at a lot of HBO shows going forward, because HBO is kind of inundating us with a lot of shows now. If I was watching that series last year, I'm going to watch it I'm going to watch every episode this year. If it's a new series that I didn't start last year, I'm basically just going to wait for the season to be over.
Yeah,
I'm just going to binge it at the end of the season.
That's a good point because I think this is the last great HBO show. By that I mean in terms of scale, not in terms of quality. Because HBO has been just throwing money at stuff and they've been saying like, yeah, well, we got the subscriptions coming in, it doesn't matter. A lot of people, the subscriptions are going to be down. A lot of people are just going to be on Netflix or Disney Plus. They're not going to spend $10-20 million an episode like they did on this show.
And
so
owns HBO now, so that's also going to cut back on the amount of spending.
And they spent like billions of dollars to get it. So I think we're not going to see a show of this scale for a while if we do ever again.
No, I think we will.
Not from HBO. I think
not from like HBO. No, yeah,
no,
Disney or somebody.
No. You guys missed the point. No.
This is where you're both wrong.
Lord of the Rings,
next
Amazon
big scale
is the next
show
big
is
one.
going to be that one.
That's what I'm saying.
They spent $500 million for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see,
they're hoping on some big ass investments to spend $500 million.
But this is the thing,
seasons.
though. But this is the thing. When it comes to scale, it's not just about money. It's about the amount of characters that are going to be in there. And Game of Thrones gave us a slew of characters that was just basically unmatched in a lot of the shows we've seen out there. You had these different houses with different histories, with different ways of acting. Like people know, like when you say Lannisters, like a Lannister pays his debt. You people know when you say the North never forgets. Oh, you're talking about the.
I'm sorry, Sam, but the Lannisters get hit by rocks.
Yeah.
Well, they are from Casterly Rock.
Yeah.
That is true.
They're always from Casterly Rock. They stole Casterly Rock.
Yeah.
And John C. Yes, John Wick is getting a TV show, but it's more about the hotel.
Which is cool. Though. The hotel is a nice one. I have to go see that movie. Anyway, guys.
That movie was good.
Thank you very much, everyone, for chiming in the chat. Guys, it's a pleasure as always. And, thank you, Lou and Warren, for the little rants this episode. Appreciate it.
Look, man, Game of Thrones ends up being in my top 3.
Till Westworld next season. Always enjoy your entertainment, guys.
Dakaris.
It said Dakaris, please.